Well, good evening guys, here we are again in the Warwickshire-Avon. Today is the 4th of July, it's a Tuesday, school night, so can't be out too late. I thought I'd come down, what I've decided to do, I've come down for one last trip here for now. Been keeping the bait going in every night for probably 4 weeks now at least, every single night. Just a few bits and pieces as I've told you previously. But what I've decided to do now is ease off a little bit here. It's not, if you've seen the videos you'll know it's not exactly going to plan. We had that nice chub last time, but you know, we're not tearing the place up or anything. So what I've decided to do is, as of the next session, will probably be at the weekend, I'm going to move further upstream, same stretch, only about half a mile. We do open ourselves up to catching a lot of bream up there, but you know, I don't object on the face of it to catching bream. I do like doing a bit of bream fishing. Fishing like this as well, you do tend to only catch the big ones in here, which I would class as sort of over £5, usually really over 6, and I've had them up to 8, so they're nice fish to catch and they do put up a scrap in the current. But back to this evening. Once again fishing a snag on the other side. The river seems quite alive considering the day we've had. It's warm, muggy, it's been sunny quite a lot of the day, but I've checked the rain throughout the day and there has been a bit in Warwickshire, so I think perhaps a bit of water's gone into the river, although the river level data hasn't been updated, so I haven't been able to check properly. But the river does seem to be quite alive this evening, so we may do some good. There you go. Right on cue. What we'll do as normal is we'll fish into dark. I'll give it till perhaps 10:30, 11 o'clock. That's the intention at the moment. Obviously it's fishing, so things change, but that's the idea at the moment. There's a lot of fish topping, some decent sized fish as well, but I haven't seen what they are yet. The pike are smashing the fry and the bleak when I'm casting in, which as I mentioned on the last video is a good sign. But I haven't actually seen exactly what's making a lot of disturbance on the top. My guess would be it's a chub taking flies off the top, and perhaps they're hitting the fry as well. A lot of fry in the river, which is a good sign for the future. Well, if you've seen the video, the last video where I caught that nice chub, things with the rods couldn't be any different. Last time, if you remember, we were just getting bangs and knocks and pulls from the minute I cast in. But tonight, although the water is fizzing, you know, there's a lot of topping going on. There's a lot of fish activity. The rod's doing absolutely nothing. Not a knock, not a twitch, absolutely nothing. Having said that, the middle rod, which is on the salty squid wafter, has just twitched. So there obviously are some fish down there. Not always a bad sign here though. I've sat here for 2-3 hours with not a single twitch, not a single knock, and then caught a mid-double carp or a close to double barbel. So it doesn't really mean anything. It's just nice to see those tips bouncing. Just shows you that there's fish there. But once again, it's a salty squid that's the first to show anything. I'm doing some slightly different this time. Again, if you've seen the last video, you'll know I was using the Scopex squid by Nash and the salty squid mainline wafters, and I also had the Pacific tuna on. What I've done this time is run the chains a little bit. I've kept the salty squid wafter on the one rod because we've had some success with it. On the other rod, I've actually got the Nash TG Active boilie back to back with a paste wrap and some pellets just on the mixed in with a method feeder mix. Just to give that a try really. Just bought a bag of pellets and a little pot of paste just to give it a go really. People rate it as a barbel bait, so what with moving up there as well where there are more barbel, I thought I'd give it a go just for a few quid. So I'm giving that a try on the one rod here, and on the other rod I've actually dug deep into the freezer. I found some S-core, some Richworth S-core. They're like sort of really sweet, creamy smelling boilies, and I've actually got I've balanced the bottom bait with half a pop-up on there, and just put a couple of boilies in there on the method feeder with that one, just to try something different really. A lot of the baits I use are quite dark coloured, neutral colours. That one is, well, mind you, I haven't said that, the salty squid ones are bright pink, aren't they? But again, there's a pink, half a pink pop-up on that one with a sort of cream coloured bottom bait. I think, personally, I think too much is put on colours of baits. I mean, obviously it can have effect in clear water when you're fishing shallow, but you're not fishing 8 foot deep here. It's sort of 3 foot of visibility, so I mean the light levels at the depth I'm fishing there, especially under a snag or practically under a snag, it's not going to be a lot, is there? I think I'm pretty sure red disappears first off the spectrum as you go into the water anyway, so I think a pink bait down there will look exactly the same as anything else. I think they go by smell and scent more than anything, don't they, the fish, when you're fishing that sort of depth, which is again why I like a paste wrap. I think what I'll do is I'll give this a go for a bit, perhaps an hour or so. I've actually had a rummage around through my bag as well, which the depths of my bag, I've actually got some krill, I think it's sticky baits, isn't it, krill, some krill dumbbells and some paste as well. I may have a go with that, give that an hour. I've never done much good on it, to be honest with you. I went away from it, but we can give it a go, see what happens. I've also got various other bits and pieces I could try bait wise. I've got some of the old extractor, the Richworth extractor barbel bait, which I find absolutely fantastic. I've got plenty of pellets and stuff, but the only trouble is I haven't really got any boilies. Well, I've got boilies. The trouble is they're rather soft. They do tend to come off with the Chub acting the way they did the other night. If they do again tonight, first good strong pull and they'll be off. So I'm not sure whether I'll be able to use those, but I could perhaps use the pellets with a similar sort of fishy bait next to it. Give it a try. Just like to take this opportunity to say a big thanks to everybody who's been leaving me nice comments regarding the videos and that you're enjoying them. It's really much appreciated, guys. Big thanks for that. People also keeping me in touch with what they're catching. That's great. Love to hear about other people's captures and what you're doing, where you're fishing. Please keep me informed. Feel free. It's It's fantastic. Really enjoy reading all your comments, and glad you're all enjoying the videos. Well guys, it's a salty squid that's gone off again. Not sure exactly what this is. Imagine Mr. Chub again. Yes, Mr. Chub. Well, that's great. He's not a monster, but it's a good start. We'll just rest him up, then we'll have a look at him. Well, would you believe it? I was just resting that chub up in the net, as you can hear. The other rod's gone. Just resting that chub up in the net, and the other rod's gone off. Crazy. Feels a bit bigger. Snagged me up on the other rod, but it's another chub. Can you believe it? Oh, managed to get him in the landing net as well, so we'll now try again to have a look at this lovely brace. Well, can you believe it? After sitting there for an hour or so thinking nothing was going to happen, all the fish seemed to be on the top, the rod tips were barely moving, and then all of a sudden we have this fella. I'm going to give him for that £2.5, something like that, which is great. Salty squid wafter, not surprisingly. Fantastic. And while he's resting up in the net, this fat boy takes the TG Active. Now he's a proper one. Absolute monstrous great mouth on him. I think he's a good 5. A good 5. He's an absolute belly on him. I'm sure he's been troughing away on all these free offerings I've been putting in. That's fantastic, what a result. Right, I'm going to rest him up in the net and get some photos taken. Hello guys, can you believe it? I've never in my life had a double chub hookup before. Crazy. As I said, that one was, smaller one was just resting in the net. I'd literally just taken the camera over there to sort it out, and as you heard, the other rod jumped into life. That's brilliant. One thing I have noticed, looking out across here now, is the current speed has definitely increased. So I'm sure that rain upstream is pushing through now. There's not enough of a rise for me to be able to tell that the river is actually coming up, but there's definitely more pace on the water, which tells me there must be some more water coming through, some fresh, hopefully fresh rainwater. So although I'm absolutely over the moon with those two chub, I'm going to stick it out for an hour or so, because you never know, Mr. Whiskers might be about. Well, I'd settle for a big fat carp. Being greedy now, aren't I? But no, I'd love to catch a barbel. I'd absolutely love to catch a barbel. As I say, with this extra bit of water in there, there's a good chance. There's a good chance. Seems that this extra bit of water's hitting just at the right time as well, just at dusk. So, as I say, we'll stick it out for another hour. I'm more optimistic than I was before I caught those chub, obviously. But, yeah, we'll give it another hour. And to the bargain, as you saw, the restaurant boats gone, back off up to Stratford, so peace and quiet from now on. Time is, let's have a look. Lost track of it. Just 9:30. So yeah, we'll give it another hour. We'll give it to 10:30 till it's dark, in the hope of catching a barbel. What I've done bait wise, because the fishy flavours, well, the shellfishy flavours are doing good. What I've done is I've taken off that S-core, and I've put, now I've got a salty squid on one, the wafter. Put the Scopex squid on instead of the S-core, and on the other rod I've kept the TG Active on it because it's the first time I've used it. It's been in the water an hour, and I've had a good 5-pound chub, so I'm going to keep that on, obviously. Still a lot of fish topping out here. I'm very hopeful. Makes me feel like I'm not going to move now, but I think we'll give this a bit of a rest, and I'll keep the bait going in, but not every day. I think perhaps come down twice a week, bait up, just keep it clear. But we'll have a few goes, I think, up the stretch, half-mile upstream, and see if we can't bag a few different species. As I say, hopefully a carp up there, bream. We'll certainly connect with some bream, some big old slabs up there. Well guys, as you can see, it's starting to really get dark now. It's just about 10 o'clock. I've just made the last cast with each rod. They're all nailed up against that snag over there, just for the last half an hour, maybe 45 minutes if we're getting some indications. Just going to leave it till it gets properly dark, and see what we can get out, if anything, before we go home. So fingers crossed. Love to have a barbel.
Well guys, unfortunately we haven't had anything else. I was hoping to get a barbel out as I mentioned earlier, but it wasn't to be. Never mind, it's approaching 11 o'clock now, so I'm going to knock it on the head. I'm off home, and next time you see me will be half a mile that way, which is upstream. We will be facing catching some bream, but there'll be some other species mixed in with it as well. Hopefully we'll get some barbel up there and some carp as well, and some nice chub like we've had here. So thanks for watching, thanks for all the kind comments you've been giving me. Tight lines, good luck with your own fishing, and I'll see you again next time.